Well, hello there. Excuse me. Hello there from the Force dude. Um, Saying a lot of ums there. Let's see here. Let's start off. There's just a bunch of stuff coming in from A Lawless time, a bunch of previews, and I want to share a lot of them, and there's a lot, so let's just get into it. Weird way of saying that. There's no market prices for most of these, not surprisingly, but A Lawless time, here we go. Underworld Bounty Hunter, 4-armed, Slicer, Chio, Fane, 2, a blue and a red. He's a 2/4, and on attack you may choose 2 players. If you do, they each draw a card. I don't know if you can only choose one. I don't know. I had to find out that ruling. But I think I have to choose 2 players. I think that's better for a Twin Suns than it is for a regular, but still, that's not a bad play right there. But he's a 2/4 for 2, so that's not a bad deal. The next we have Rose Tico. She is, now it's worth it. She's a 5/5 at 5, a yellow and a hero. She finally has a good card. The first one we had from the set was not good. If you control a non-unique unit, this unit enters play ready. So this has a lot of value right there, because I mean, how often do you bring in a unit and it's ready? The Falcon's it, we're losing that, and there's 1 or 2 others if you meet certain conditions. In this case, you just need a non-unique unit. That's it. That's an easy condition to do, because most decks are going to have non-units in it, and especially late game, if you're trying to finish it off, you might throw down, you might have 8 resources or 7 resources. You throw down a one drop or a 2 drop. You throw her down, can probably finish the game off. So she could be a late game finisher. Poe Dameron was really good at doing this. Again, he's rotating out, but he has a lot more ability than she does. But for 5 resources, she does almost virtually the same thing, but without having to worry about timeless intervention or Tarkin Town. She can, or not, ECL I mean. But she can do that. All you need is a non-unit. So she is one of the most open, easily accessible when it comes to that. But I really like this card. I think this is the first Rose Tico I have seen in the movies or in the thing that doesn't make her look like a putz. I think she's a fantastic actress. I've seen her in several movies, but that's a different story for another time. Next card, Secret Battle of Pretend. Exhaust a friendly unit, and if you do, for each different aspect it has, exhaust an enemy unit in the same arena. That can be huge. We're coming out with 3 aspects on the card. On some cards, you have a blue-red, yellow-blue, plus a heroic or villainy. In this case, it's heroic. You have 2 here. So that's going to let you exhaust 1 unit with all 3 aspects, and you can tap down 3 of their things. That could be all of the stuff they have. Could be. So this card has a lot of strength and potential. Almost like an outmaneuver, but a lot. Realistically, it's a lot less expensive and a better value, because unless you're talking late game, early game, this is going to open up the door for you to just do some serious aggro damage, I think. Because you're just going to keep them from doing what they want to do. They might swing in with their biggest thing, but then they have 2 more things or 3 things that might hurt you, and they're just stuck. So I really like this card. We go to Bix Kayleen, selling scrap 4 for 4/5. I always like it when they have a higher power and toughness than 2 times their number. She's a 4 and a yellow, so again, she's unique. So she would not work with Rose Tico, but that's okay. When played and on attack, you may discard a card from your hand. If you do, create a credit token. Still not 100% sure what the credit tokens do yet. I think we're coming close to the time where we're going to find out. But those are not bad stats, and when played and on attack, you may discard a card from your hand. If you do create a credit token, that's not bad. You're going to get credit tokens. I have a feeling this set's going to make it really easy to get credit tokens. I don't know what you do yet, but when you get them, we'll figure it out. Jyn Erso, one of the leaders from this set. An action and 1 and tap. She already looks like she's going to be a lot better than the original one that came out in set 1. That during or so, I didn't see hardly any play, and rightfully, she sucked, in my opinion. Boom. Something on my computer says, hey, we have something. Action is 1 in a tap. If a friendly rebel unit was defeated this phase, rebels are going to have their own deck again. Search the top 3 cards of your deck for a card and draw it. Put the other cards on the bottom of your deck in a random order. This phase search the top 3 cards of your deck for a card and draw it. Put the other... Yep. So basically, it's a brainstorm from MTG. That is basically you draw 3 cards. It's a really, really powerful card because you are manipulating your deck and you get 3 card choice of 3. Your 2 worst cards are going on the bottom, and especially when you have that 1 or 2 card that's maybe late game, or you're late game and it's an early game play, like it's 1 or 2 drop that's not going to do anything, or it's just not going to affect the game anyway. That's going to put it on the bottom, and you're going to take your most effective card and put it in your hand. That's pretty awesome. You flip her. She is a 3/6 for 5. That's the typical stat line, so that's not bad. Especially with plot, you can make her a lot bigger. And she's a blue and a heroic, obviously rebel. If a friendly rebel unit was defeated this phase, again, same thing on it, but this time instead of paying 1, you're doing it on attack. So that's a pretty cool. I like her. She's a brainstorm on a stick, and that's just... they did that on an R2 unit, but R2 just wasn't... It had decent stats for a 2-drop, but it just wasn't there for me. Jen Urso, I can see me doing a serious deck with her. I really like that effect. So, especially if you're playing Rebels, you can really get what you need when you need it. That's usually how that works. A red base. This is the first time that we're seeing a base from red. This is the second base we've seen from the set. The first one's a little more underwhelming. This one's pretty cool. Epic action, discard 3 cards from your deck. You may return a card discarded this way to the top of your deck. Return a card. I'm not sold on it. I'll be straight. I'm not sold on this one. Maybe there's gonna be a place where you want that, but I right now I'm just not seeing it. So, yeah, I'm not sold on that. I mean, I'm sure there's ways to exploit that, but I'm just not sure what they are. But I'm not sold on it. Next is Jen Urso, the unit, a 2-drop. Here we go, 3 aspects: green, yellow, and colorless, or heroic. 2/2 for 2. Not a bad stat line. And when played, either give an experience token to a unit or exhaust a unit. That's pretty good. You can exhaust their biggest thing late in the game if you have initiative and they have big stuff and just you can't do much about it. I mean, you're playing yellow, so tapping and making them return stuff to hand is basically what yellow does. Man, excuse me. But you can also give an experience token to a unit or exhaust a unit. I mean, so you can make stuff bigger. You can throw it on the leader Jen or so and make her bigger. So, I mean, there's options, and it looks really nice. I like this card. Jen Urso is getting a major upgrade and is getting a major update to make her a lot better than that first set. I thought her unit in set 1 or 2, whatever set that was, I didn't think it was bad, but her leader was horrible. And these 2 cards, I think, are going to more than make up for, especially with the rotation. We can just take the original Gen leader and just throw her in the trash because she was not good. But this one is good. The unit's good. And, yeah. Next card, Bodhi Rook. He was such a well-used card in set 1 and 2, especially with Bubba and Django. So now we're seeing him again in this set. It's kind of nice seeing him. We have a lot of Rogue One coming into this set. A lot. He's 2, a blue and a color and a heroic for a 2 and a 4. 2/4, sorry. Rebel. A lot of good rebels. On attack, you may give I won't go down. You may give a friendly rebel unit sentinel for this phase. So maybe you have something you don't really care about. Maybe you have something you want to hold on to. They have something big they got to attack with, so you give it something smaller rebel. Maybe you give this guy rebel. I don't know. But yeah, you're going to make them have to attack a Sentinel, so they're not going to be able to hit your base, especially with big units late in the game. So you got a lot of value in this. I'm liking this set. Senta Kaz. She's a 3/5 for 3, a blue and a colorless rebel. She's not as good as the other one that came out. The other one was just bigger from the last set, but she's not. The other one has plot too, so it's just so much better. But this one's 3/5, and while this unit is upgraded, she gains Sentinel. Enemy units in this, you know what Sentinel is. So basically, you have to upgrade her. Again, not hard to do, but there is a lot of upgrade removal. So this one kind of is losing steam for me on this one. She's a rebel, and I think that's why she'd be so interesting. Other than that, I just don't see it. She's not one that's going to be as much used. She's got some uses, though. Next one is Rogue One. Always like ships. Rogue One. I thought was one of the best Disney Star Wars movies, by the way. Just my own thoughts. 3, again unique, blue. 3/3 for 3, and when a friendly unit is defeated, look at the top 2 cards of your deck. Put any number of them on the bottom of your deck, and the rest on top in any order. I see Rebels are going to give you a lot of deck manipulation, especially with Journey, so I see this coming. I'm building this deck. I don't know where it's going, but this is what I'm building. I can tell already. I really, really like the aspect of manipulating the deck. Those kind of decks are super strong. And I don't want to answer that. So then we're going to go to the next card. A 4 and a blue. The tree remembers event tactic. An enemy unit loses all abilities for this phase. This hits leaders really hard. And if it costs 3 or less, defeat it. Now, it's not overpowering. I get it. Holy cow. I am sorry. But it's not an overpowering card. But it is basically a neutralizing or a defeating thing on something small. The neutralizing goes on bigger things. So let's say they have, and I know we're rotating, but let's say they have a Poe Dameron. I'm just trying to go off something on my head. He has a lot of abilities. You're going to make him lose a lot of your abilities. Or one of the other cards we looked at today, let's say that the card that lets 2 players draw, you just neutralize it. That's it. It has Sentinel. You neutralize the Sentinel. Or defeat that card. It's just, this thing gives you ways to manipulate what you're trying to do, and I think being in blue, especially with a deck we're already trying to look at exploit. I think it's not going to be we're not going to have a hard removals right now from what I've seen, but I do think there's some removal coming up, and it's not bad. But we're definitely manipulating our deck. That's going to be fun. The next one is Common Cause, green for 2. Give a unit +1/+1 for this phase for each different aspect among units you control. So this is green. You might have green, red, blue, and heroic. You can have literally 4 different aspects on a unit. So yeah, that could be fun. I am sorry for the yawns. 2, a green and a black, an underworld. 2/2 for 2. When played, search top 3 cards of your deck for an underworld unit, reveal it, and draw it. Put the other cards on the bottom of your deck in a random order. This is going the other way. Not bad card. Scarif Lieutenant, another rebel trooper. Give an experience token to a friendly rebel unit when he's defeated. 2/1 for 1, a green and a heroic. That's again with a Tico Rose Tico, sorry. This is something you could play with him. Throw that down, and that's turn 6. Throw him down, throw down the Rose Tico, and you're attacking with the Rose Tico. And then you make sure that he gets defeated first, whether it's whatever reason, somehow you'd prefer that. If not, that's fine. But he comes into play, and then you do the Rose Tico. Maybe use some kind of ambush, if you can get it. But yeah, you get when he dies, you give an experience token to a friendly rebel unit, and you move on. Masasi Group Marine 3 for 4/4. There was Battlefield Marine for a 2-drop. This guy is a 4/4 for a 3-drop. So it's not the same, but it's close. I always like the cards that is a cost, and the power and toughness is always higher than the cost, especially when they both are. So a 3 for 4/4 is the kind of value I love, and this in aggro decks, I think he's going to be big. Next we have the Katana. I think that's how you pronounce it. Upon the Dune Sea, the ship that was used but like job on them. It's a 3-drop for 2/4, and when played and on attack, the next underworld unit you play that phase costs 1 less. That's not bad. Decent value. 2 in a yellow. Again, doing yellow decks. Cunning doing what Cunning does. 2-drop, return a non-leader unit that costs 3 or less to its owner's hands. Early game, you're just going to wreck them. Again, if you're going aggro, that's a good way to do it. Wigway Pirate, 2 for 2/3, yellow. Saboteur, Underworld. And when played, if no resources were paid to play this unit, give an experience token to it. There is ways to cheat it, just not a lot. So you could essentially have a 3/4 for 2. It's not very often that's going to happen, but if it happens, great. I don't really see much ways to do it because the stuff that would let it do it rotates. So that I can think of. Give me in the comments what cards are out there that would manipulate this pretty well. Let's go to the next one. Again, we just have a lot going on. A black-yellow for an Underworld Vehicle Fighter and Black Sun Patroller. He has shielded for 2/2 for 2. I kind of wish he had Sentinel also. He just kind of sounds like a Sentinel, doesn't he? Black Sun Patroller. But yeah, if he doesn't, he doesn't. So it is what it is. But 2/2 for 2 with shielded has always been a great value. Saw a lot of use out of oh crap. The Force unit that is out there, that's in like Talzin decks and just early game 2/2s for 2. That's always a good value. Essentially, you got to kill it twice to kill it, because you got to get rid of the shield first. Double cross, green and a 6. Choose a friendly non-leader unit and an enemy non-leader unit. Exchange control of those units. The player who takes control of the lower cost unit creates credit tokens equal to the difference between those 2 units. Play attack with something big, and then use this to trade out for something really tiny. And you'll get the credits back, and then you can turn around and attack. And you know they're not going to attack with that first. They're going to attack with their biggest unit, so you take their smallest unit, so then you will trade it out. And because of all the credit units, you use the small unit to finish off their big unit that you just traded for. I think it's a permanent. Yeah, it does not say it gets it back, so that'd be permanent, so just destroy it when they're done. Haymaker, 4 and a green, give an experience token to a friendly unit. That unit deals damage equal to its power to an enemy unit in the same arena. That's always a good deal. When I can get something slightly bigger and then destroy something somebody else has, that's always awesome. It's a 2 for 1. I'm making it something bigger. Well, it's a 1 for 1, but I'm paying to make one bigger, but then I'm destroying their thing. They get rid of they use a upgrade removal to get rid of that experience token. You're really not missing out much. You're still getting rid of their thing. So 1 token versus a unit, I'll take it every day. From a certain point of view, I think this is going to come in really huge in this set. Let's say you have a Luke Skywalker and you're playing green, red, yellow, since we're able to play 3 colors. You play this, and you get to play anything on the same turn that's out of aspect and still pay the same price. That is a fantastic. I can see this being played about everything, because you're going to want that 1 or 2 units that's out of aspect that just you couldn't put in a deck. You can now. It's going to make it really hard to deck build. Expendable Mercenary, 4 for a 3/3. It's not as big as I would like for a 4-drop, but You may resource this unit from its owner's discard pile when it's defeated. So basically it's another Super Laser Technician, except he's one more and he's bigger. So you can do a lot more with him. You can really do some, again, doing this and then playing the Haymaker next turn. The guy's going to have, their big unit's going to have a lot of damage on it, or 3 damage on it from this. This is an extra resource. So the next turn you turn around and play Haymaker on something and you finish them off. And your thing gets bigger on top of that, and you have a resource. Just a great trade. Fear and Deadman. It's a 7-drop for a red and a villainy. This card costs 1 less to play for each card discarded from your hand this phase. Deal 4 damage to each ground unit. So basically I could discard cards to make it cheaper, but it's giving 4 damage to each enemy ground unit. That is not bad. If they have a lot of big stuff out there and you just need something to just knock them down and finish them off or whatever the case, this is going to do it. Talzin, this is a good play for Talzin right there. Talzin's a really, really good play with this. So Persecutor, a 9, a red, and a black, a 9/7. That's a high price for what you're doing. When played and on attack, choose an arena. You may deal 3 damage to each unit in that arena. For a 9-drop, I think that's... I know he's a 9 power, but at that point in the game, you're worried about winning the game, not about taking out their units. So, realistic, I mean, you might be able to knock out a couple of units, but if they're going to win the game at this point, they're going to have the game won. So, I think it's... If you would do that, I would say maybe destroy a leader, like they did with the Avenger. And I'm not saying that's a bad shot, because maybe... But, I mean, that late in the game, if you're throwing this down, I mean, it's a late game. You better be finishing the game with this card on the next turn, if not this turn, with something. I don't like this one. I love Star Destroyers. I think those are great ships. I think they're great. They make really good pictures on cards, very threatening. I love the look of that ship. It takes up the whole picture. I just love the artwork on it. And it's a capital ship and a vehicle. But this late in the game, if you're throwing out a 9-drop, again, unless you're playing a hard control, and I don't think there's going to be a hard control for a short time, I just don't see this being a powerhouse at the beginning. Unless you have ways to extort into it. But that's not going to happen because that stuff is, the exploit is being taken out on the rotation. So I like it on the power level. I like it on the cost. I think it fits. And honestly, having damage being done when it comes down is nice. But that action, I don't see that being the game winner. I think that 3 damage, if it was 6 damage or 5 damage, I could see it. But 3 damage to each unit in that arena, I mean, that's just kind of like, oh, I'm going to bring out this big ship and it's going to go pink. I see value, but I don't see it being a home run. We have Galen Urso, leader, or just a unit, 0/5. You may have an opponent take control of this unit. Enemy units gain raid 1 and Saboteur. I was wondering why it's a 0/5. Now I'm looking at it. I'm like, that's freaking hilarious. When played, an enemy opponent takes control of it. So then you are now the enemy of this card. So everything you have has raid 1 and Saboteur. I love it. So basically, they could throw down Sentinels or anything they want, and you're just going around whatever they have, and you're just thumping the base. If you're playing yellow, he is a must-have. You're giving them a unit that does everything to help you out and nothing for them. First time I've seen it where you are giving an opponent something. I play Magic, and there's a deck that I play where you're giving them your stuff. And the best part about it is, those things do damage to me, but they're constantly doing damage on their upkeep, which is kind of like our upkeep in Star Wars. And I'm not trying to compare Star Wars to Magic, but this card is so great. Because in the Magic decks that I did that to, where I gave the opponents my cards, they were taking damage and getting this done and that done. This card right here has just become my golden ace and my favorite card of the set. I liked the Rogue one, I've already stated that. But giving somebody a unit that does nothing except for help out your opponent is fantastic. I love it. Anyway, let's move on. But that card, we have one more card. But this card, yeah, that's going to my decks. That's just a big, I'm going to give you a headache and just enjoy. I love it. I did not I'm like sitting here like, when I was setting all my stuff up to do this video, I'm just like, I don't understand what he's doing. Now I'm reading it. I'm like, oh, I love this card. I think it's going to be a big hit in a lot of decks, honestly. That's how I feel. So, I can see this card being traded back and forth between opponents. That'd be great. And our last card is another leader. He's a 7-drop, 4/9. It's pretty good stats. Almost equivalent to Palpatine, except he's one less. Action, tap, defeat a friendly unit, create a credit token. I really want to know what the credit tokens do. I just don't know. So you keep giving yourself credit tokens, and I know when it comes in it's going to be a heavy hitter, but I think those are going to be huge. I just don't know what yet. On the other side, it's a 4/9. Another friendly unit deals damage equal to its power to an enemy unit. It's a one-shot deal, but I love it. A friendly unit deals damage equal to its power to an enemy unit. That is epic. Throw a plot on something big, and you can essentially knock out their biggest thing. That's awesome. So that's what I have for you from this set. I think there's a lot of good stuff here. This set is really starting to take shape. I really like it. Imagine doing it with Chewie. 4 blue, green, heroic, 4/4. Overwhelm. When attack ends, if the defending unit was defeated, give an experience token to this unit and heal 3 damage from them. Just knocking out 3 things. That's going to keep making him bigger, and he can just keep doing that over and over. Luke has a Force Jedi Rebel, 7 red, yellow, heroic. If you're looking at a 9/7, that Star Destroyer is a 9/7 for 9. He is a 9/7 for 7. And when played, an opponent chooses 1. They create a credit token, ready this unit, or you may deal 5 damage to a unit. I'm assuming this goes toward the opponent, not toward you, but still, that's a really nice play. Ben Solo, he's finally good, 9 for an 8/8. When played and when defeated, ready another friendly unit. It can't be attacked this phase. Rey is an 8 for a 9/9. That's a little backwards. 9 for an 8/8 and 8 for a 9/9. That's awesome. Opponents can't take control of this unit. This unit can't be defeated by enemy card abilities. Rebel Vehicle Transport Phantom, C-3PO, Chirrut, and Base Malbus. This is going to be a strong set. I think this is the new Spark of Rebellion set right here. Especially when they do their next, and we have more cards too. What's the rest of the cards? Ezra, Hera. Both of them have the Rebel and the Spectre unit this time. And more Underworld, another Maul, Chopper, unmarked credits, Calrissian. I mean, there's just a lot of Rebel, Underworld, and Imperial in this one. Especially Imperial. Oh, there's another Fed. I didn't even realize. 5 for a 6/5. Again, stats I like, a little bit bigger. When played on attack, you may pay 1 if you do. Deal 3 damage to a ground unit. That's going to be a lot more impactful than the original Fett. Salacious Chrome. If you control Jabba the Hutt as a leader, this unit enters play ready. Has raid 2, so it's basically a 1 for 2/2. That's pretty strong. But yeah, this set looks really strong. I can't wait to play it, and that is my video. So you guys be blessed, and I will catch you on the next one.